Welcome to episode 98 of the Analog Assault Podcast. This week we're talking about all the news in the gaming industry and Mixer closing down, so let's go!
You're listening to Analog Assault, a video game podcast by Mulehorn Gaming.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Analog Assault Podcast. And man, we got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Plate is heavy.
Yeah. Real quick, just a little bit of housekeeping, guys. If you like the content, then smash that sub button right here on Twitch, or you can head over to patreon.com/Mulehorn Gaming, and you can catch us live every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time at twitch.tv/Mulehorn Gaming. So tonight we have Radical, Thaddeus Prime, Scarecrow, and Dark Life joining us, guys. What's up?
Oh,
How's it going?
No one speak up at once, okay? It's
Then we all went at the same time, so it worked out.
No, right. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff tonight. But before we get into that, let's just ask you guys, how's your week's been? What you been playing? What you been watching? What you been doing?
I'll go and start and say that I have done next to nothing as far as games go and shows watched. We picked back up another week after my mother was gone, and things just got really crazy around here, busy all of a sudden, and I have not had a chance to. I don't know. I think I got used to not playing while she's here, and then tired afterwards because she wasn't here to help. And I'm like, I don't want to play anything. I'm too tired. So I think I put in 3 hours total from the weekend till now of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I have accomplished next to nothing.
Wow, sometimes that could be just traveling from one point to another. Yeah.
A lot of it was traveling, and killing everything that was bad along the way.
Of course.
2 episodes of My Hero Academia. But most of my time's been spent really just networking with, new Mixer to Twitch streamers and kind of helping them along the way and all that's going on. And, that's my passion. So I was just diving in, tabbing up and making it work.
Yeah, man. Doing the prime time things, being prime all the time.
I do some stuff.
Working them tabs.
It seemed
like every time I would jump into a stream, like maybe 5 minutes or so later, all of a sudden, what time is it? He's over here too. Jeez, I'm checking out 5 everywhere. When I get a stream deck, I'm just gonna have a sound for you for prime time.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome.
A man can dream.
Right.
Everything is going according to plan.
What about you guys? What y'all been playing?
Oh, lots of Destiny, lots of PSO2. PSO2 had another content little drop. So they're doing kind of their 4th of July kind of thing. It's kind of weird because you've got these it's originally a Japanese game, and then you've got these what they think kind of like what Independence Day is. Obviously, it's the North American team that's doing a lot of some of the design, but it's kind of funny. It's like the main area is decorated with Christmas trees, but it has 4th of July decorations on it. I'm like, okay, whatever. And they're like, oh, we got to have the barbecue. Okay. But enjoying that. Destiny, taking some people through the new dungeon. Really enjoying that now that I've actually figured it out. Nice. I think I've ran it 5 or 6 times now. But it's nice though because you can get loot every time you run it. You only get like the powerful stuff the first time you run through, but at least you're getting stuff when you're going through. And it's nice because there's a couple sets of armor in there that are pretty cool looking. Obviously, one's an old trial set and one's a new set, but still fun. And some different weapons. Been enjoying that.
Yep.
And then rewatched the most current season of My Hero, and then watched a couple other animes in their entireties.
Nice.
Short series, but some interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Right on, dude.
Yeah.
Right on.
Nice.
cool.
I'm gonna go because on Discord I'm the next box, so I'm going. That's the reason. So yeah, so I've been playing a lot of Destiny, shock. But I also moved, and my husband and I bought a house, so we've been dealing with that. So that's been interesting. I'm like a
Congratulations.
thank you. I'm like
That's
a
always a big
I'm a
deal.
real boy now, except I'm a lady, so not quite. But but yes, it's been really nice to be a homeowner, and I have this really nice stream room that I'm in. It's still in progress, so it's
Got
really
some
nice.
pops back
And
there, I see
got some
too.
pops. My brother got me this cool Twitch pillow
Yeah.
as a birthday.
Nice.
My birthday was also last week, so
Happy belated once again.
yeah, thank you. Yeah. So he got me that, and then there's some other swag up there that I really like. Down, I don't know if you can see it on Twitch. You can actually, or on the stream. There's a Miranda Lawson figure that's like the ugliest thing I've ever seen. But I saw it at a store once, and I was like, I will give you $6 for this, and they were like, okay.
Gotta have
So
it.
I
yeah,
wanted
so
to haggle.
no, that was the haggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't go into it. We have stuff to talk about. And then one other thing, and I may bring it up later, but one other thing that I did do this weekend, and all of last week was enjoy the Gaming Community Expo marathon on Twitch, and Mixer and Facebook. And they raised so far over $6 million for that, and it's one of my favorite events of the year. I'm really sad there's not a convention this year. But it's an
Crazy.
amazing thing. Dr. Lupo raised like almost $1 million in his block. It's just
Oh my
unbelievable.
gosh.
So,
Jeez.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
yeah. So while some of the topics we're going to talk about tonight are a little bit heavy and kind of, crappy in relation to the streaming industry, there are definitely some bright lights that exist. So that's one of
Heck
my
yeah.
favorite events, and it was awesome to watch it. So
Heck yeah.
yeah.
Right on.
Dark.
Dark Life.
See, I've actually been playing stuff other than Call of Duty this week, which is
Wow.
What?
pretty-
What?
Who are you and where is dark?
Who is this guy?
So
He
no,
was
I've
coming.
actually
I don't know you anymore.
I hate you people.
No, you don't. Come on now.
Now I got 2 games that were sent to me from some developers. One of them was for the Switch, which was Knight's Quest. It's like a party game. It honestly reminded me a lot of the original Gauntlet with that whole top-down thing, but this one was more
Yeah.
focused on, instead of accidentally killing your friends, they wanted you to kill your friends. So that was pretty much the whole premise of it. There was a lot of things on
Okay.
there. I wrote a review on the site and stuff like that. That was pretty fun. And now I'm playing through Moonlighter, which is
Okay.
a very interesting Zelda-ish action
Mhm.
adventure type game that has a lot of weird twists to it. Like one of the things behind it, the whole Moonlighter thing, is during the day you run the shop for other adventurers. So like the stuff that you get in the dungeon, you have to actually
I remember
sell
seeing this game. Yeah,
in
that
your
looked pretty
shop.
interesting.
So,
Cool. I like
And
that.
then, yeah.
yeah, like you sell in your shop to build up your town, or you keep some of the stuff to bring to the other shops that you bring in to get weapons and ammo, and armor. But the thing is, the dungeons are procedurally generated.
Mm.
So, and here's the hard part: you can get through the dungeon if they give you this thing at a certain point where, like, if you're gonna die, you can pay like $300 to be teleported out of the dungeon, whatever stuff you have. Because if you die, everything you collected, the thing is gone. Like it just disappears. But to beat the dungeon, you have to make it through all 4 stages, which means when you go into a dungeon, you have to find the correct path to the boss fight for that level. Get to the next level with whatever health you have, and keep going until you hit the 4th and final boss before that dungeon actually closes and opens up one of the other 4 dungeons.
Cool.
Now, mind you, I'm trying to blast this thing because the review is actually for DLC that doesn't get unlocked until after the actual game gets beat.
Oh, dang, dude. Yeah.
So, like, I was reaching out to the developer, and they were like, "Oh no, we know. You said you didn't have the game, so we know it's going to be a while before anything comes out." I was like, "Yeah, okay, thanks."
Jerks.
Like it's definitely not easy. The artwork is kind of weird because it's almost like it took cell shading, not like a Super Nintendo ish. Like they got caught halfway between like what a Super Nintendo or a PlayStation graphics would look like, with more of a comic book type aesthetic to it without the hard blacks.
It's kind of
So
like
cell shading, removing the blacks.
Yeah, it's kind of like it has a little bit of a like a Stardew Valley feel, but not as like cartoony. Like it's still cartoony, but like not as pixelated, like not as bright.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it's stuck in that halfway thing, but it's a good game. Like it's actually a very interesting game. It's very down and everything. And one of the funny parts is like a lot of people have a hard time playing the game and figuring out how to beat bosses. And one of the hardest parts of the game is figuring out how to sell your crap properly, because you can sell it for too much, too little. If you flood the market, then your stuff becomes less valuable. Like there's all this crazy stuff you have to think about. Am I opening the shop today? Am I going hunting today for stuff? Like it's there's a lot of stuff to be done in there. And again, of course, I've been playing Call of Duty, season 4. I put in my time.
Naturally.
I got my wife
100 hours this week
to an anime show. Didn't tell her there was only one season of it. So we watched Demon Hunter, and then or Slayer. Is it Demon Slayer? Is the one
Demon
with
Slayer.
the kid with? Yeah. We get to the final episode of the season, and she's sitting there and she's waiting for the next episode to start, and I'm like, "That's it."
She was mad, huh? She was mad.
That's a really good show too. That's really beautiful art style too.
Was she
That's
not
beautifully,
pleased?
and art style, so good, such a good show. But aside from that, just playing Call of Duty, watching anime, going to work. This is a lot of work going back and forth.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
right.
man. Yeah.
That sounds good. How about you, boss man?
Man, just a lot of Destiny 2, actually. Been playing a lot of Destiny 2, going through the dungeon.
Seen that.
I want that armor. That armor
Welcome
looks so
back.
slick.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I got
He's not playing PvP.
I am playing PvP because I got my revoker finally. I'm not a sniper. As you guys
I don't know
I'm a
how I
Russian.
got my revoker before you. Like we had this conversation the other night. I'm like, how me? Like I'm not the PvP guy. I'm not the sniper either.
I literally never put a sniper on. Never. I delete every sniper I get. Like I literally delete them.
Rad's like, not like this. Not like this.
And so I had to actually do some strikes or something, or go to the Vanguard to try to get a sniper. And I actually got a decent sniper, and then I sat down. I think it was like,
Rad's the best snipes in Destiny.
oh, she is.
Dr. Lupo, me. Pretty much.
There you go. She's humble. She's humble too.
I'm really humble about it.
Yeah. But I finally got an actually decent sniper. It was moving target and snapshot. So
Which one? Which sniper? Come on.
Was it Far or Cry something? I can't remember. It was like
This is
Far
just
Cry.
going well.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I don't.
Going
That's how
real
much I
well
care
for you.
about snipers.
You
I
guys
know.
wonder
It's,
if
I think
bullet-
it's. Well, we're gonna figure it out. Here we go.
Yeah, I think I put it in our Discord
think it's the
chat. It's in there
Crucible one, isn't
somewhere.
Twilight Oath.
Is it Fate Cries Foul?
Oh, Fate Cries Foul
That's
must
it.
be.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the Crucible one.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Anyway, so
Good
I
rolls.
actually got the revoker, and oh my gosh, it's like easy mode with that sniper. It's incredible.
It's the icebreaker. It's icebreaker, dude.
I was like ripping
baby
people's
icebreaker,
face
yeah.
off with it. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
snipe, headshot. Oh, yeah,
Put a
I
little
missed that
target
shot.
gesture on there, you'll be good to go.
Yeah, and I was like, I missed that
think
shot.
it's-
That's all right. It comes back. It's
Me
like,
too, fake. Me too.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I think that's the cheapest gun in all of Destiny.
That's why I'm a better sniper than you. No, I'm just kidding.
I'd have to put one on.
yeah.
Kidding, man.
It's really fun, but I do have a dad joke, and this one actually comes from my son. He told it to me today.
Oh,
And I was
boy.
like, "Oh, that's actually kind of funny." And he comes up, he's like, "Dad, guess what?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Why do superheroes flush the toilet?" I was like, "Why, bud?" He's like, "It's their duty."
Okay.
I was like,
Okay.
"That's not bad for a little 9-year-old
Dark
that
is
kid."
not
one.
impressed, but Radical and Dad got
Alright.
good kick out of that one. Scarecrow's on the edge.
My son's gonna love it.
Yeah.
My dad's
So-
gonna love it.
Yeah. So I was like, "That's not bad, buddy. That's pretty good. That's pretty good." So, but anyways, so guys,
Meat and potatoes.
Tonight. Oh man. Ooh,
Got
I
some
mean,
topics.
I don't even know where to start, honestly.
You know,
You should have saved the dad joke for the end.
yeah,
I
you
know
should
I
have.
should've. Yeah.
We you know, if you're looking for, we could go in order. I mean, there were kind of some process
Hopefully
of
not a
events,
bad thing.
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it's probably best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just mention too, as you guys might notice on the chat box, we updated it just to show our support. End racism, end harassment and assault. Hashtag clean up the industry.
Yes.
That's kind of our stance, and we want everyone that's listening or watching to know that. But anyways, so Rad, you were saying before I interrupted you there.
No, that's okay. I mean, I was just saying, if you're looking for a place to start, because they're all tough topics, I say start with sort of the first thing we found out. This weekend, I think it was Friday, and
Yeah.
I don't have to be the person to do it, but I can be. If somebody else wants to start the
Well,
topic off.
I'll say this: we were supposed to have a special guest tonight, and that special guest was supposed to be Say No to Rage. As you guys know, a lot of stuff came out with that. I actually met him at EA Play last year, and I felt like he was a pretty good guy. And then all this came out, and I'm like, man, like, this is crazy. The timing, I mean, for our benefit was good because we didn't have him on. And it just kind of started, like, for lack of a better word, a shit show. And it just tumbled down the hill. And, respect the victims. We kind of discussed it a little and pulled off. I mean, Radical worked really, really hard on this interview about shoutcasting with Golden Boy and Say No to Rage and all this cool stuff. And our actual on location interview at EA Play, we took down that content because we just felt like it was the right thing to do.
Sure.
Good call for sure.
Yeah, I was receiving messages from people within the MHG community. I was in the middle. We had just closed on our house that day, and something nutty was happening to us. It was the electricity thing. So we were kind of scrambling around that night, and I finally had time to look at my phone, and somebody in our community had sent me a bunch of messages like, "Hey, you might want to see this," because people knew that. And I've posted this on Twitter and had mentioned it in a few other people's chats on Twitch, so I don't mind saying it. I was really becoming a very big supporter of his content. Despite what's happened, I thought that the content he was producing was good content. I think that much of the Destiny community liked the information that they could get from his content. But as soon as that happened, I canceled my sub. I unfollowed him on Twitter. I actually blocked him on Twitter because he was following me. So I didn't, want that
no surprise
distance.
Yeah, no, I didn't think he was going to do anything to me. I truly was not worried about that, but I didn't want to. I was also empathetic to the things he was seeing. I think some of the things he needed to see, but he didn't need to see everything. I recognize that's bad for somebody's mental health. So I didn't want him to see if I was writing anything or whatever. So, because I did have a lot of things to say. But I kind of just severed myself immediately. And, Mule, when you said, "Hey, we'd like to take that interview down," it hurt my ego because I worked really hard on it, but it was the right thing to do. I didn't feel bad about making sure that we disconnected ourselves from that situation.
And that was a hard choice because I knew how hard you worked on it and how good it was, how good of an interview it was. And it was just like, and it sucks too because I had to take down the EA Play as well,
Yeah.
And
there was a lot. I mean, aside from him being part of that, there was a lot of info in your EA Play.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it just sucks, man. And just like, I mean, then you have like the latest news too about the creative director for Assassin's Creed Valhalla stepping down because of like another scandal. Like, and it just like,
recently.
and it snowballed, right? Like more and more and more and more of these people talking about like the harassment they've had in the gaming community, the unwanted advances, like she snaps,
Jules Verne, 55, all these women coming forward and saying at least their interactions with him, and then a whole bunch of other women saying, "I had this interaction with this person." I was talking to a friend last night. I've luckily not experienced that with a lot of the men and the women who I've communicated with within gaming, but as a woman, I've had it happen to me. I say it like so plainly, but like as women, we all kind of have had
Mm-hmm.
something, of some sort happen. And so when I see stories like this, it's shocking and upsetting, especially when it's someone in a position of influence and somebody who you think and you
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
But is it fully shot? Is it fully surprising? Is it fully like, oh, I can't believe that would happen? Unfortunately, no.
Right.
And I think that's why the conversation is so important, so that everybody realizes, like, hey, this isn't just like a one shot experience that some women go through.
Yep.
Right.
And what blew me away was not only what happened, um, but by the end of day two, the list was huge.
Yeah,
And
massive.
I didn't know a lot of the names, but some names really stuck out to me, like Supa and Mixer. And when Cabbies hit, I had just kissed my daughter goodnight, and I just like, I blew up. I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, I mean, the dad in me just raged out, and of course, I took to Twitter and I just blew up. I'm like, guys, seriously, what's wrong with people? What's
Word
wrong with you
vomit.
guys?
Yeah.
Do better. Don't give these fake apologies. Just correct your crap. Get help. And what is wrong with you?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And of course, the list grew and grew and grew. Um, and also, I mentioned this in chat. Someone mentioned that the film industry was going through it or has been going through it. The comic book industry is recently going through it as well. And there's people coming out left and right just as much as I'm seeing in the gaming industry. So there's a chain of this happening. Brave women stepping up, or before they were afraid to say anything, afraid of getting shut out and shamed out, or just people not believing them. But it's just, I'm thankful and glad they're stepping up and taking this brave step, because I can't imagine what they're going through now and have gone through.
Mhm.
But it's just
Yeah.
sickening.
Yeah.
These men's hearts are really not in a good place for some a very long time, very long time.
You know,
And they'll have
go
So
ahead,
what?
Dark.
family and kids. Oh, all right. I'll let someone else go.
So what I didn't realize, like as all this started going down, starting off with Say No to Rage, and like you were saying, the comic book industry. It's not just that. Like if you look throughout all social media, there's like a speak out movement going on. Like it's
Mhm.
just people are tired everywhere. Like
Yeah.
it's video games, it's movies right now, professional wrestling, comic books, like everybody, now is just everybody's just so fed up with everything, and it's just tired of holding things back in, and the ball started rolling. We don't know where the hell the ball, people got ready and the ball rolled, but everybody just dropped them, and
Yep.
it's just horrible to see, you know, all this shit going on. Like, it shouldn't be like that. Like, no
Mhm.
matter,
Mm-hmm.
they shouldn't, like, you should be comfortable, Radical, being able to go and, be the pillar of your community and not have to worry about, hey, you're a woman or whatever have you, who's going to be in my DMs or who's going to say something, rude in the chat or whatever have you, or go to a con. Like, it's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
Like in part of my language. And then when we get to other parts of this conversation that we're going to have later on, you start tacking on even more shit that's going on. And it's mind-boggling,
Yeah.
like, and you sit there and it's like, and some people just like, oh, whether they want to blame the victim or whether they want to sit there and act like nothing's going on. Like, there's a problem. Like, there is a problem going on, not just in our country. Like, it is around the world. Like, it's
Yep.
going on
Yeah.
everywhere. And
Yeah.
like, we have this, so we have a pandemic, we have riots going on. No, protests. Let me correct that, because everybody says riots and it's bullshit. But there's protests going on all around the world. Like, everything is toppling down at one motion, and stuff just needs to change. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely insane what the hell is going on in this world right now.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's
I
hard.
mean,
Like, I'm honestly, as a veteran, like, you sit there and you go back and forth. It's like, I don't know how the hell we got from what I defended years ago to where we're at now. Like, it's so hard to sit there and look at that.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know?
yeah, it's
Yeah. Right now is a really intense time for the world. The United States is the only country I can barely speak on behalf of. But we, especially with the pandemic, I think a lot of what we're experiencing kind of boils down to where our emotions are running in regards to that. And I know that's not the topic of this podcast, but when we're all sort of running on empty, to quote whatever song that is, I can't think of it right now. My therapist said it like this: when you're running on empty, it's really hard to keep up, with the way that you would normally act and behave and receive information. And so I'm gonna use that hydrate. Hold on.
Thank
Great.
you.
So like, when we're running on empty and then other things start coming at us, like the Black Lives Matter movement, and then sexual harassment and assault allegations, and victim speaking, and additional racism, and whatever is happening, we're already running so low, and we're already so so depleted of our energy and so high with our anxiety and our stress that it just feels so overwhelming, and it feels like we can't escape this continuous cycle of what is happening in our world, what is happening in our country, what is happening in our communities, and what a community being where you live, where you play, things like that. And so from many people who are listening right now and who are watching may know that I'm a therapist. And so I look at it from the Rachel perspective, but also I'm seeing a lot of what's happening from a therapist perspective. And, people people I know who are never, high stress, they're cool as a cucumber, are losing their minds because it's just such a high stress time, and it makes everything just so much more difficult to cope with. And so, it takes, one person to say something. I saw Robbie write in chat, it takes one woman to stand up. And while that's true, actually the person who said something was a man. The first tweet that came out this weekend on Friday about the Say No to Rage situation was a guy. I forgot his name. Hollow something or other. Sorry, sir. He wrote a tweet that said, people meme Lucky, who's a big name in the Destiny community all the time, but there's another streamer at the top of the Destiny not leaderboard, but that's what I'm saying,
like directory
leaderboard, that is doing crappy stuff. And that's when I think Jules Verne was the first person to tweet, and she said, what, I felt inspired by that, and I stepped up and said that who it was. And so that's the beauty of hashtag cleaning up the industry, of ending racism, harassment, and assault, is that it no longer has to be women who are looking out for women. It can be outstanding gentlemen, just like the people in Mulehorn. Like it can be good people looking out for one another. It doesn't have to be women looking out for women. That's great. I love it. I want to be a woman who makes sure I'm promoting and looking out for other women, but it doesn't have to be that. And I think that's what this change can really bring to the table.
Absolutely.
Hollow Tide, thanks, Volcasmic. Shock or surprise, Volcasmic knew. I'm not surprised. Top mod award.
I'll say too, man, I think what we're seeing too is our coping mechanisms that we typically use for escapism or just to like de-stress, like gaming, sports is under assault as well. And so
it's non-existent.
Yeah. So, and when you don't have these coping mechanisms, people just crack. And like you were saying, it's like people are just fed up, and you have all this racism that we're dealing with in a country that's just kind of been like low key, because it's like someone will say something. Oh, but look, did you see Monday Night Football? Oh, did you do the new season of Destiny? You kind of like you sugarcoat it, or however you want to say it. You just kind of glaze over it,
sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, and I think all this stuff is coming to light, and then the fact that it's in something that we all enjoy as well. It's just like a lot of us are like, whoa, and then some of us are like, I'm not surprised at all, and so I think it's good that we can have an episode devoted to like just talking this out too.
Yeah.
Dark
looks like
it's stirring.
Let's do it.
Storm brewing.
He's contemplating his thoughts.
That's literally the problem. Like that is the biggest problem with it.
Yeah.
That, it was so easy to push it under the rug. It was
Yep.
so easy to ignore it. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not white. I'm Spanish, very Spanish. My kids are Spanish. My brother looks black, but he's dark Spanish. Same thing with my other brother. And even myself have gone up, and I'll tell you a really weird story. So
Okay.
when we were gonna get married last year, me and my wife, we got married last year. A lot of you guys know, around Halloween, we went to go look at her dream place before we ended up deciding on Vegas. This is what led us to go to Vegas. She talks to them. We set up the appointment. We go there, and I shit you not, I walk in with my wife. They look at her. They don't see me yet. They talk to her. They're all happy. They turn. They go, and this is your husband. And the entire mood swung. Like, swung. It literally went from, we want to tell you what's going on, to let's see how fast we can get you out of here. She had never experienced that.
Wow.
To her, it was easy to, it doesn't happen to me. So it's a thing, but not a thing. And it was eye-opening for her to understand, like, no, this is a thing. People do this. And it's, maybe the pandemic did have some things. Like, we have nothing else to focus on. There are no sports. There is no new TV shows. There is nothing going on. And now we can see it. Everybody can see it. You have to deal with it. You have to deal with the fact that this is going on. And it's just human decency. Like, it has nothing to do with political sides. It has nothing to do with anything like that. But yet everybody wants to make it that. It is basic human decency. Everybody deserves to be treated the same. No matter what your skin color is, no matter whether or not you're gay, straight, lesbian, does not matter. Man, woman, whatever the hell you want to identify as. It's gone. Like, why is it so difficult for it to just be something where we look at each other as gamers? We're probably the most tight-knit people for the most part, unless you're in like a Call of Duty lobby with the mic on. Realistically, because everybody there has banged your mom or whatever have you, or has some kind of thing going on. But in a sense, we look at each other as gamers, like, as blind voices behind a microphone. Like, that's friend, family. We're all, we all do this together, and we develop these cultures, and we develop these groups, Discord, and all this stuff. And then you turn around, it's like, all right, like, oh, we're gamers doing that, and then boom, you have all these allegations that come out and just topples the hell out of that too. Like, just like, it's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The Destiny community for sure. When there's some talk about Guardian Con, now called Community Gaming Community Expo, in the chat, and when I've been to that event in the past, it's truly like the most at home I've ever felt in a group of people. This was before I knew what was going on in previous years, but that doesn't necessarily change my feeling about it. But that's just to what Dark is saying, is when you feel, when I'm going to use I language, when I feel this connection to people, and then something like this comes out, it's like, it's a shock to the system. And it really makes me think, like, who do I want to make sure I'm surrounding myself with?
Right.
Who do I want to make sure that if something does happen to me, who can I turn to? Who can help me? And I've had weird stuff happen to me with people who I've met gaming. Not necessarily, sexual harassment, but other types of harassment. And it's like, how do I protect myself? How do I shield my life from people who I thought I could trust? And it's scary. And I can only imagine what it feels like, on a sexual harassment, sexual assault level, because it felt bad on a harassment separate from sexual, anything. So, also I'm talking a lot, so please shut me down.
No, it's good.
If you're making points, you're not going to shut you down for making points that you need to make, or for saying what you need to make. Talk as much as you want. Hell, I'll go stand over there if you need to take my time.
No.
And I think that's another thing that's like really hard for us as gamers to deal with, because at least the way that I've always thought about it in gaming is that gaming is almost like the Olympics, right? Where it doesn't matter where you're from, who you are, what you look like, whatever. You get to like 5 or 6 guys together, or you get like, a squad of 3 in Call of Duty, and you get that dub, you immediately have that bond. You got that bond, right? You're like, bro, Dark, you just backpacked me, bro. That was amazing. Like you got that bond, It's like, and like I feel like some of those bonds that we've had, it's just under attack, and it makes me wish that more industry, like bigger, like EA for Game Changer programs, Logitech, G Fuel, all these other like big companies that sponsor streamers wouldn't just look at analytics, but would look at the guy's character. Because I think a lot of these companies, at least the way it was when I did marketing at one of my first jobs out of college, was you can overlook character flaws if you got the audience. Like you'll be more tuned to kind of turn a blind eye to that. Be like, oh, we can probably work with that. We can work with it. We can make that work. And I wish they would find like content creators that are full of integrity. And they're out there, I mean, there's True Vanguard, Dr. Lupo, Professor Broman, like we go on and on.
Everybody stop and follow Dr. Lupo right now. He is the standard that every streamer should hold themselves to.
Yeah. And I just wish, because what I feel like it does for us, I mean, we've been working at this for 5 years. I feel like it makes it so much harder for us to be trusted and to be looked at with legitimacy.
And you mean that as gamers, right?
As gamers and as media. Because, if stuff is going on like in the industry, you're like, oh, what about these guys? And then we have to work extra hard to prove we're not douchebags,
Agree. I agree.
I concur. I'm thinking about that too, because all the stuff that goes on, all of a sudden there's eyes everywhere, and there's mistrust spread across the board, and it's understandable that would happen. I mean, this is just some atrocious stuff going on, but it makes people worry about others in their life. Did they mean it that way, or should I worry about what they're saying? It's good. The caution level's up higher. But it makes it harder for those who've always been doing the good standard. Yeah. It's changed the dynamic of things right now.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
And then to kind of segue us into our next topic here, which we're going to talk about Mixer closing down. You have this whole situation with Mixer where you have a person that experienced racism within the Microsoft organization for Mixer, right?
Yeah.
And it just like all the stuff starts blowing up about that and how he was treated, how he was talked to, how they talked about how did they word it about like they're my slaves or whatever.
We're their slave owners. Yeah, and they're my slaves and
Good Lord.
That's just
the whip, they'll do what I tell them.
Yeah.
Well, it started off originally, he was pulled aside and said that the only reason you're hired is for your street smarts.
Correct.
And it's like, what?
Yeah. No,
what do you mean by
as
that?
someone, as someone who I'm Jewish, right? Like I was raised in a religious minority that so many people like do not understand because we speak another language and it blows people's minds. And like that's crazy for people. And there's times when and it's not the same as the Black experience, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But when you read something like that and you're part of a minority, you say to yourself, yeah, I've had people like pull me aside and be like, can I ask you a question about money? Like, man, no. Like I can't do math, and like I can save, and that's because I'm an American person who was taught how to save money. Like, you know what I mean? So like when I read something like that, I know what that feels like. Like, yo, Rachel, can you help me with this because you're Jewish? Like, yeah, here's what I can help you with because I'm Jewish. I talk loud and I eat a lot. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like that's the extent of it.
Right.
So his story, similar to like what we just spoke about with women. And one thing I wanted to say was, it's not just women who get sexually harassed, and I know that that gets put in the spotlight, and oftentimes those are the stories. But men are also, victims all the time. And when
Yeah.
you hear a man say that something has happened to them, believe them too, because men are made victims just as much as women. Maybe not just as much, but they have the capacity to be a victim too. I just wanted to make sure we said that, and we're sending the
Yeah.
right message. But when you read stories about discrimination, whether it's a story about a black person, or someone who practices Islam, or somebody who is Jewish, or somebody who is not who doesn't fit the mold of whatever normal quote is supposed to be, we've all experienced that. We've all experienced, you know, let me ask you this because of this.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And, and like Shaky said, like it could have been taken two ways, like a compliment, or it also could have been like, hey, you got a lot of common sense, or it could have been taken inappropriately. And I think, like, if like I try to put myself in that person's shoes, and I mean, I can't truly understand it 100%. But I think it would be a red flag at first, like, that's kind of weird to say to me.
Yeah.
And then I probably would have kept going, but I think the problem with it is what followed after that.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Of
all
course.
the advanced. That's when you're like, okay, so that's when you can really establish your intent. Like that's what you really meant when you said that. You weren't giving me a compliment that I'm just smart and I kind of know how the industry works.
Sure.
You were making kind of a derogatory comment toward the color of my skin.
Right.
And that's despicable. Yeah.
And I see
that was
a
the
lot.
initial red flag. But as you guys are talking about, this VP said that, I think you guys already mentioned it, but we'll clarify a little more, that mixture streamers are slaves and herself is a slave master.
Yeah. Yes, that was a quote.
And he said that in his presence, he got visibly upset about it, naturally, as anyone should. But it gets even worse on the one-on-one meeting, where she pretty much says no apology. She feels she was completely justified in saying what she said, right to his face. How? What? The capacity of her mental process is beyond me.
Right.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind. That's some high level racism,
It's
that should not be tolerated anywhere.
Yeah, no, it's ignorance, it's racism. It's somebody who, in my opinion, lots of learned behaviors. Somebody who probably grew up in a racist household, and I don't want to say that this is what was happening to this person, but it's they don't understand, they don't get it, and they can't, and that's why she's not going to give an apology, because she doesn't think she's wrong. And
it's elitism.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah.
Man, it's just.
Go ahead. I'm done. Just making noise.
To keep it on topic, I think what made a lot of it worse was Microsoft's handling of it. Even if Microsoft was planning on getting rid of Mixer, like if that was coming up, it is damn near impossible to not correlate that, hey, you have a vice president who's racist towards a thing. A tweet goes out going, oh, I want to talk to them. Who was it? Phil Spencer put a tweet out saying he wanted to talk to somebody. And then like the next day, Mixer's gone.
Dude, terrible.
That is not the way you should have handled that
so
one.
Many tone deaf moments in the life of this story. Tone deaf. Yeah. Like who's running it? Hire me. At least I can help you get out of a situation better than you people were able to.
Dude, I'll say though, I'll say one thing. Shaky Rasa, Phil Spencer did say, "Hey, let's have a face-to-face and just tell me your story." And then a lot of people were actually saying, "Oh, Phil Spencer shut down Mixer because of this." And no, that was not. He actually came out and said that was not the case. It had been in the works for a long time.
But bad timing.
It's just a slap in the face, dude. Like,
one of two things happened. It was either planned for that day, and then they were like, "We're just gonna do it," or it was going to happen, and they were like, "Screw it, we're doing it now," because
damage
control.
Control.
Yeah,
the worst damage
not
control
good damage
ever.
control. It was bad damage control.
it was horrible. Like it was absolutely the worst day.
Yeah.
And you get the crap where Mixer just drops this in a tweet. They don't even
Oh,
tell their partners. The employees found out, what was it, like 30 minutes before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, man, it's like
You suddenly have no more home for what you
right.
do, no matter how long you've been here.
None of the partners knew until the tweet went out.
Yeah.
A
and
few
how do you
top
And
even
partners.
I
know
believe
if you
that.
don't get an
Oh,
email
did
or
the top
anything?
partners know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ones who make millions knew, but all the ones who actually carry their platform didn't know shit.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I just didn't know. I was just clarifying. But yeah, no, I mean, it's terrible. It's
And
I wrote a small write up for the website that was mainly just facts, but the initial reactions from people on Mixer were just heartbreaking.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
There were people that were partnered last week,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then this
I
all
saw
goes down.
one where 2 days after the announcement, they get their Mixer hoodie in the mail. I'm like, oh,
And see,
what?
Well, now
that's
you got a
dude,
relic.
this
I
is what I
mean,
don't get.
Yeah.
Why the
gotta
heck
hurt
are
so
you
bad.
why are you making people partners on the platform and then saying, "Oh, we're bringing clips," just to say, never mind, guys, they're going to Facebook."
I
It's
wonder,
like,
I wonder if their thought process was like they knew that partners were going to be able to become partnered on Facebook, um, but and they were like, well, people will take that.
No.
yeah,
I respect Facebook. I downloaded their app. I follow Gathalion and Darkness on there, and some other big guys. I follow Lupo. Lupo to the rescue because he's part of
He's
our
Lupo.
scene here, and he's Lupo,
yeah,
yeah. And but, like I created a whole new profile for it, though. I don't want to be on there as me. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
some people have said like I think it would be cool to sort of be able to feel comfortable with doing that. But the past weekend has shown that maybe it's not so great for us to be like fully implanting like my personal self into streaming,
yeah,
so
exactly.
Oh,
it's
exactly. I mean, I had a conversation with Lupo about this. Like, I was like, okay, well, is this going to be tied to your personal information and stuff? He's like, no, there's at least safety on that end. But then, like, I can't. I'm gonna have to make a new account just so I can go watch him and help moderate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm not gonna. I don't want like. For me, I'm a little bit different. Like, Facebook is for family, like personal stuff, and then Twitter and everything else, that's for the gaming stuff that I do.
Same thing.
Right.
Same.
I don't want. I mean, I'm not married. I don't have kids, so I don't have to protect anything like that. But I still want to keep certain things safe from family or for my
Dude.
family, extended family.
Yeah.
I have a lot of family that is not as. I don't know if this is the right word, but not as progressive that are there,
Mhm.
and I don't want that being influenced by anything.
Sure.
Uh,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
it's gonna be very interesting. I know they're trying to do a lot of stuff. They've talked about how they're going to try and implement some changes with their system. They've had some conversations with some of the Mixer partners that are be coming over. But it's gonna take a bit. It's gonna take a lot, in my opinion.
And
Right.
yeah, and from what I've seen, they're limited a little bit too. There's somebody who was on Twitch and then she went to Mixer and then she came back to Twitch and she does a talk show, and that's the
Hmm.
main thing that she does. And
Yeah,
in
you're saying,
there was
yep.
a thread today on Twitter about which was great. I thought Facebook did a good thing of doing sort of like a Q&A on Twitter and sort of saying, hey,
Hmm.
here's what you can expect from us.
Yeah.
And one of the things was you can stream on Facebook, but you have to be playing a game. And so, that's going to hurt them because so much of streaming is not just about gaming anymore.
Yep.
It doesn't
There's a whole creative directory. There's a whole
correct. Yeah,
cooking
there's
directory.
cooking,
Uh,
there's literally
talk
just people
shows.
chatting,
Talk
like not even
shows,
talk shows, just chatting. Like,
music.
Which
yeah,
is growing exponentially on Twitch.
yes, it
Just
is.
chatting
Mhm.
because
Because
a lot of mixer individuals and
Mhm,
streamers were doing just that,
mhm.
and now they're back to the best home they can have right now, doing just chatting. But for that not to be an option, I agree with you guys. That's just not good.
And maybe it'll change. I don't.
We'll probably have to
Everything
change.
is in
Is this
motion.
going to turn into one of those situations like we've had, like it was more of a negative on Twitch, but where you'd have people that were doing things on Twitch with just a game in like a small corner? Is it going to end up being like that on Facebook, where you
I
got like,
don't think
oh, this
so.
little game, and then they can do their
I don't think
other
so
stuff.
because Twitch is an option. So why would you go to Facebook when you could just do it on Twitch? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Unless they're
wasn't always
just
an
so
option.
against Twitch.
well,
for some
yeah,
weird
but
reason.
And that's the thing I saw, like from some media outlets, they're saying they've talked to quite a few partners, and the large majority were going to Twitch. And I mean, you guys know I support Lupo to the rescue like 100%. Like he's one of our bros. He's been on the podcast. You know, I go to stream all the time. But I told him straight up, like I can't go to Facebook, man. I just can't. And I'll give you an example of why. Is that we had I'm not going to name who it was, but we've had a developer that we've interviewed before that came into our DMs and talked about there was a person that was pulling pictures of their children off their Facebook page and posting them out on the internet and talking about him and his family. And so he's like, dude, I'm just asking you, I got this guy stalking me and being really weird.
I
Can you
forgot
pull
all
all
about
the
that.
content? And I was like, 100%, man. So for me, I know you can make your own page and all that crap, but the UI sucks for me at Facebook. I don't want to be on Facebook. You don't have any chat bots, which I know they're going to have eventually. They talked about that. But I think what like made this even worse is that Facebook came out and said they didn't acquire Mixer. Like they didn't buy them out. Like they said that they heard.
I don't know if that's a bad thing, but it's not a good thing.
It's not. It's basically Mixer was hemorrhaging and looking to offload, because I think in the grand scheme of this, I think what happened is they looked at Matt Salsamende, saw his tech, and was like, FTL's amazing. Let's acquire this. They acquired it. Matt wanted it to be a streaming platform. So they're like, okay, let's kind of placate to what he needs until we end his contract. Ended his contract, almost a year ago? And now you see what happened. It beamed Mixer to nothing. So
slow digression to, okay.
It was just for the tech, man. That's all it was. They wanted to protect the tech and buy it before anybody else did. And now all these partners that work so hard on Mixer are just kind of like, hey, here you are. Welcome to Facebook gaming. And
it really sounds like his video nailed it.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Like, no, we just gave Facebook. What do you mean you gave it? Yeah, we just gave it to him.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah. And
yeah, wow.
I'll bring this up. There's three big names I'm thinking about with Facebook gaming. I'll start with the one that we all know the best, and that's Goth. And Goth made the decision to go to Facebook, and I mean, I'm just gonna say I think that's a horrible decision for him. I don't think that was a good decision at all. And I've heard, why he wants to do it and things like that. But honestly, you can't make that decision based on how you want to help other community members. At that point, it becomes like, I need to make the best choice for my streaming career and my family.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you guys can chime in.
Yes,
but I think that move is not smart.
Like he's going over there, but like I don't know. I know things that I don't know if are still NDA or what, but it's not like he can just if he's just gonna be there forever. He can do some things where he's gonna be there for minimal time if he really changes his mind.
I knew it. He is trying to get all the platform rings.
Trying to be Thanos.
Yes,
he is
the
Thanos
of
in the streaming world.
Yeah. Did he do D-Life?
They're a little bit like Facebook is a little bit more open as far as their partners, from what I know. Like, I guess we're gonna start calling it former Mixer now. If you were a partner, you had to exclusively stream on Mixer. Facebook gaming does not require that.
Well, you didn't have to
You do not have,
exclusively on Mixer. You just have
if
like
you're a partner, you were.
you couldn't co-stream. You couldn't multi-stream.
Oh
You
yeah,
could
so
stream
that's why
on. You could stream on Mixer and then the next day stream on Twitch if you wanted to, which a lot of people did.
Yeah, had to be a 24-hour gap.
Yeah.
Right.
Which there was a lot of people that did that. They would stream one day on Mixer and then another day they would go onto Twitch and stream.
Now Facebook, they don't care
Yeah.
as much about that. You can have both. Now I don't even remember where my
you
train of thought was
can't
going.
co-stream it. You can't co-stream it. Like you can't stream or you can't like promote your other platform while you're streaming on both platforms. But you can like restream basically.
Yes. Yeah, that part got me a little bit. It's like they have no way, and they also have like no way to promote your own stuff on there on Facebook.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So
there's no directory. You have to literally just go to a page. And so I mean I get some of these bigger streamers like Goth. I mean they may do well because of who they are. But like these middle tiered streamers, that's why they're going to Twitch. Because
and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think it's hard for us, and I say this respectfully. I'm a small streamer, you know, like Mulehorn is taking off. You guys are gonna be partnered in no time. But no, I think you know, like you guys are blowing up, and pun intended. And but you know, relatively for all intents and purposes, like we're small communities, right? Like we're small tier, mid tier, you know, whatever we are. For Gathalion, the man signed. You know, we can't possibly comment on what he's doing for his brand, right? Like he signed a massive deal with Mixer, and I heard him in his stream the other day say, all these people are worried about what Ninja and Shroud are doing. I was there. I got my payday. You know, like he's gotten his money. He can stream wherever he wants and potentially never make money again and probably make more money than I'm ever going to make in my life. Like you know, he's gotten that payday. Now, if he was us or Lupo, I don't want to speak for Lupo either, but if he was in a position where maybe Lupo hasn't gotten a payout quite like, you know, Ninja, nobody's gotten a payout like Ninja, Shroud and Gathalion, he does have the decision to make for how to grow his brand and maintain his partnership. Gathalion is fine. Gathalion wants to stream on Facebook and push forward his agenda in a good way. I don't mean that in a bad way, of building community and teaching people his Thanos agenda of teaching people. And I value that in Gathalion. I met him once and I said, dude, you are an inspiration for how, you know, my goofiness on my stream and the positivity that I bring. He curses more than I like to, but you know, like he, go for it. He has the ability. He has the funds. You know, he is living in a nice house somewhere in Tampa Bay, Florida, and he's doing it.
He's got the following on Twitter. That's one of the things that helps him so much is this social.
No, for sure. He doesn't have a stream room, Thad. He has a stream guest house.
A stream house.
Stream house.
He has never responded to me, but I keep writing in his chat, when can we pay you for a tour? Like I will come and not tell people your address. Like let me I just want to see it. Like let me check that out. He can't live far from where I am. We're both in the same Tampa Bay area. Like let's do it. But like you know, it's I think for him, and I'm not trying to shoot you down, Mule. I think that your opinion is spot on. But for Goth, it's like he cares in the sense of I'm doing this because I want to.
He
not
probably got a bigger contract. That's why. I mean, because of what we're hearing.
I don't even know if he got a bigger contract.
He's got to have had a bigger contract. I mean, look at Ninja and Shroud. They both got offered double of what.
Yeah, but I think that Ninja and Shroud are different content creators. Ninja and Shroud are playing. Yeah, but they're playing competitive games, you know, they're competing. Gathalion is running around in Sea of Thieves, and I'm saying this respectfully, these are great games, but like he's running around in Sea of Thieves, he's playing Destiny 2. They can't even have an anti-cheat in Destiny 2. Don't get me started on that. You know, like he's a fun, you know, like that's why did he get a bigger deal? I mean, maybe, sure. I have no idea. I don't even know what his Mixer deal was. But he's not doing it for the deal. He's doing it for this is what I want to do, and I have the ability to do it. Ninja and Shroud are going to get the biggest deal they can get because they're competitive esports players, and everybody wants them.
Yeah, and I think that those two things correlate together. That he's going to do what he wants to do, and he also got a bigger deal. So for him, it probably makes sense to go to Facebook.
Yeah.
I still just don't. I mean,
Well, and Wolf
probably what he's
also
gonna do. Sorry, probably what he's gonna do is the same thing that Ninja and Shroud did, which is they're gonna make a deal and then they're gonna use that for leverage for his position they're in right now, and that's why they turned down that deal because what was it? Ninja got paid out 30 million, Shroud got paid out 10 million, and then Facebook offered them double, is what reports said.
They can get more elsewhere.
Like,
And
They
so
can get more on Twitch. Twitch is going to buy them back.
Yeah, and that's probably what Goth will do is use that for leverage when it's his contract's up with Facebook Gaming and be like, hey, where should I go now? Like, should I stay here or should I go to Twitch? Let's negotiate. Like, that's the smart business play to do. And I'm going to give you guys where I think they're going, where I think Shroud and Ninja are going. They're going to YouTube. And
I think you're right.
A reason why I think both of them are going to YouTube is because they're big COD guys. Yep. And COD signed that exclusive contract with YouTube. And I think hand in hand, those are going to go together. YouTube has better discoverability. It has less saturation. They will blow up on YouTube bigger than they could on Twitch.
Ninja has I can go to his page right now. He's got what 5 million subscribers on like he has some exorbitant YouTube? Number on he's got 5 million. Oh, radical. He has 23.7 million subscribers on he already has 23 million people who can go watch his content.
And you know how many he had on Mixer?
He had like 4 million. Watch at once too.
Yeah,
I know. He had 4 million on Mixer. So you know if he's got 20 million already on YouTube. Yeah.
I think that for honestly, high profile people are so much better off on YouTube. They're already there. I mean, they're already famous. I've seen articles calling Ninja a YouTuber. Like,
yeah. It's the only platform, in my opinion, that can compete with Twitch right now. It's the only platform that can. Facebook is now like the mixer of stream platforms. And that it's growing. It's got cool stuff that's going to work out, but it's just not going to compete on the level of Twitch or YouTube right now.
And it might one day. I mean, whatever. But
and I think Facebook saw an opportunity to grab up a lot of streamers, so they can keep promoting their streaming platform, and that's what they did with this whole Mixer thing. Mixer's like, anybody want this? You want it? Anybody? I don't care. Anybody, just take it. And they were like, let's do this.
Ignore the fire. Ignore the
racism. Ignore that. We'll just.
I agree with you. I've been thinking that silently and people keep kind of forgetting that it's there. I think I wrote on Twitter on one of my posts like, don't forget that people from Mixer it's not just Twitch or Facebook that they're going to. Like YouTube's an option. There's someone in chat right now who said it's not competing with Twitch. It's smoking Twitch out of the, through the roof with ad revenue.
Yeah.
And Wolf also earlier in the chat said for these big boys who have sponsors, like they're not making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money by streaming, but that's not where the bulk of their money is from.
Yeah.
Like that whole
sponsorships,
beautiful,
ads.
Absolutely wonderful dream stream room that Ninja has in his house was given to him by Red Bull. I mean, that's why there's Red Bull stuff all over the place. Cause I don't want to speak to that. That could be absolutely wrong, but I think part of it was given to him by Red Bull. Like that's why he has it.
I think you're very much right. Cause my kids watch a lot of wholesome yet funny YouTube families, mainly centered on their kids. They make so much money on ad revenue.
Yeah.
They're like, why do they have new houses like every season? Yep. Let me explain
how that. Yeah. And that's not a bash on Ninja. Ninja could probably afford his own stream room, but if you have the ability to have somebody sponsor it, go for it. So Ninja, if you're watching this or listening, that was not a bash on you, my man. You're great. I think you're awesome.
You're goat.
You're the goat, man.
This is why and this is why so many Twitch people that are bigger streamers will give you the advice that you need to be putting out YouTube content along with your Twitch streams.
Yep.
Because YouTube has better discoverability. It's the second largest search engine in the world.
Yep.
And you can funnel your subscribers and viewers to your Twitch page as well. So you have two streams of revenue that you can have. Now, the only thing I'll say about YouTube, and Pal was bringing up a good comment in chat, about how they make like 3 times the revenue on ads. The only thing that I will say is that YouTube has to get their copyright strikes in order for streaming, because there's been cases of copyright strikes from people playing games that have music featured in the game, and so they're copyright striking it and they can't monetize those videos because of that. I'll give you some examples. Even for us, we're small potatoes, right? I mean, we have like 600 subs on our YouTube, when it comes to YouTube. But like, I'll put up something from Star Wars Battlefront 2, and because it has the Star Wars music in it, I won't get strikes that go against our brand, but I'll get strikes where I can't monetize the video.
Yes.
Just because it has Star Wars content in it, even though it was me playing the game. It will, and so I just
think
stopped
Star
uploading
Wars
those
is
videos.
bad.
That's happened to me.
Star Wars is bad. You should see the
It's-
Nintendo stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I bet it's terrible.
So
Yeah.
YouTube's really got to fix that stuff when it comes to the streaming platform for it to compete, and that's why I say it can't compete right now with Twitch. I mean, it's the one that's closest to Twitch, but once they get some of that stuff, the UI directory stuff figured out, which they will, because it's YouTube, they got crap loads of cash.
If they sign Ninja and Shroud, they're gonna have to,
Oh
because
yeah,
people are gonna flock there.
yeah.
They're gonna have to.
And one thing I was like partially upset about, kind of talking about the Ninja topic, like when all this happened, I was thinking, what about Ninja and Halo
Oh,
when the
I
new
know.
Halo comes out? Because a lot of us thought that was a big part of why he moved over to Mixer, was because once the new Halo comes out, he was going to be kind of the face of it.
There's nothing that says he won't be.
Yeah, I mean, he still could do it
True,
on YouTube.
but it was just it fit.
No, for
with
sure.
Mixer.
And the Master Chief was in his little announcement video too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, nothing says he won't be. I mean, like Mixer shutting down, but Microsoft's and Xbox aren't. So we'll
This is
see.
true.
I think that, there's still a capacity for him to make a deal there.
And
For
he could have
him,
already made a deal.
he could already have a deal. 30 million and free. Yeah, it's like I was telling someone recently, it's like sports, man. It's like if this will never happen, unfortunately for all of us, but if the Yankees just shut down one day, Aaron Judge is gonna, he's gonna make all of his money and then go sign with the Dodgers, right? And make just as much money over in LA. So it's the same. I love baseball. It's coming back.
You shut your mouth.
I hate the Yankees, dude. Oof. We could have a talk later. Yeah, so that's what it's like. It's like Tom Brady coming to the Bucks. No big deal. Go Tampa Bay.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's we kind of deterred away from the racism topic, but I think that I hope that Twitch has put out some good comments on what they're doing to ban people who are discriminatory and harassing people, and I think that's important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Power. Oh my god, Power Pig has no idea what I'm saying. Oh, is that because you don't know about baseball? I got it. I was like, oh god, I have to explain baseball right now. Okay,
What's that sports ball?
there's 3 bases. There's a
That's not
home
sports
plate.
ball.
Okay, no, but there's it's. I hope that these streaming companies, no matter how small or how big, can learn from. Look, there's disgusting people out there, and protect your people. We're a community, and if anything, if everything that's been happening, is sports, is that outside? For everything that's been happening, our true colors are shining. Like people are coming over from Mixer, and the mantra I've heard is like, it's not the platform you stream on, it's the streamer. And that's so true. If you have an Android device, go download your Facebook gaming app and follow people who are going there. Even if you don't watch them live, like just follow them, support them. They need it. And because if you're watching this right now, if you're listening to this, you have some sort of interest in streaming, it's not hard to support. The freest way to support somebody is to follow them, and it makes a difference. So
100%.
I'm not passionate about streaming at all. Can you tell?
Not in the slightest.
Maybe just a little. Maybe. Yeah.
Don't get me started on Gilmore Girls. You'll never show me.
Oh, jeez.
Fun fact and pro tip for those supporting: if you have one or more tab open up, make sure you have the volume on at the least and not muted in the stream, you can mute the tab. But otherwise,
Yes.
you're not actually showing up as a supporter.
Yeah, it won't count
Correct.
as a concurrent viewer if you mute the stream. Keep it at least 1% volume.
Or just mute the tab.
Yeah.
Or mute the
So
tab.
before we close up, I just gotta say, Cyberpunk end on a high note.
I was pumped before. I'm ultra pumped now, plus ultra. That's you guys.
I think.
Yeah, Dark's like, no, don't do that.
That's not how you do that. That's not how
Damage
you
is
do
done.
that.
Well, I didn't. Yeah, anyway, whatever.
yet.
Blown away, blown
good.
away.
It looks great.
And our girl, Radical here wrote a little something about it. So
Sure do.
we're not going to
Good.
dive deep into it, but you can read all about it.
Yeah,
We're-
it looks
see,
really
Wolf using
good.
the Super Saiyan Mule in chat. He's excited too. I think next episode we're definitely going to have to talk about Cyberpunk. We're going to have to get all into the meat. You know what? We should reach out to Paris and see if he would come on the podcast with us. I think that's a great idea, right?
Yeah.
What
Could
do
be.
you guys think?
I like that.
He's not
Maybe-
popular
maybe-
at all. No.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll come on the podcast. Yeah. But cool. Well, guys, thank y'all for joining me. I know it was a heavy topic. We kind of ended on a little bit lighter subject there. But seriously, in the racism, the harassment, the assault, let's clean up the industry together, guys. Let's be the vanguard of change right there. So, anyways, any other thoughts from you guys before we close this down?
Just
No.
be people, be human beings. Just protect each other and stop looking down on people who, protect women and stuff. They're not simps. They're not kiss asses. They're decent human beings. Try being one.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining. Thanks for everything.
Yeah. Don't don't be afraid to step away. Your little therapist comment. Take a step back, take a breath, refuel that energy. Think of your energy like a balloon. And when a balloon deflates, it falls down on the floor. Do whatever you got to do to pump it back up, because it feels like there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going wrong in the world right now. But these things coming to light while they're hurt and they're hard to think about, it's good that it's happening. And when you surround yourself with good people, it's easier to get through. And like I said earlier, support one another. It doesn't matter if you're, man, woman, non-binary, whatever you might be, however you identify, support one another, because it's not about who you are. It's about people, right? Like it's about people helping people. It is about who you are. That's not what I meant, but it's about people helping people, just help each other. It's a lot easier on the positive side of things.
Yeah. A little more empathy, a little more forgiveness too. Let's throw that in there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, if you like our community, then check out our bros at the shed at theshed.gg. And if you're looking for some mule swag, make sure you visit the store page on our website at mulehorngaming.com. And if you would, guys, like us on Facebook, leave us a review on iTunes. You can follow us all on Twitter. Remember, guys, when in doubt, blow it up!
Boom. Bang. Shepherd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice blue.
Oh, I love Liara.
Yep.
We are.
Second to Shepherd.
I have a
Hey,
signed thing.
guys that are watching, thanks for hanging out with us. If you could, please hang tight. We want to go raid somebody. That's what we like to do.
Oh, who do we got?
We got like 17, 20, something like that people in here. Let's go blow someone's stream up a little bit and give them a little love. That's what?
Daisy?
Yes, let's go to Daisy. She is a former Mixer partner. Man, she's awesome. We're gonna go over and give her a little bit of love. And make sure you guys give her a follow when we go over there, and make sure you give her a host if you can. Whatever, just show her some love. And we will catch you guys over there. Peace out, guys.
Later, guys.